I wasted over $40,000 because I didn't fully understand how to use my VA loan. There's a lot of things I had to learn the hard way with utilizing my VA loan. Today I'm going to help educate you guys, hopefully so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Hey everyone, my name is McKeown. I'm a licensed real estate agent and investor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I was stationed in the Marine Corps from 2008 to 2012. Afterwards, I was able to use my post 9/11 GI Bill to go to school. It paid for my bachelor's degree and master's degree. Since then, I've been able to use my VA loan twice to purchase a duplex and a quadplex. Back in 2015, I had just finished my undergraduate degree at Washington State. I decided that I wanted to move down to Texas for graduate school, and actually had my first instance of kind of an investor mindset. I wanted to purchase a home, live in one of the rooms, and kind of rent out the others to college kids. And this is the first thing that I wish I had known or had been educated on when it comes to using your VA loan, is to make sure that you have a job. An underwriter is going to require 2 years of work in order for it to be used as qualifying income. Now, this is kind of lenient, meaning that if you jump from one job to the next, as long as it's somewhat able to be transferred or used from one job to the next, and again, I'm not a lender, so do not quote me on this, but there needs to be 2 years of income. My biggest misunderstanding here was that I just planned to use my post 9/11 GI Bill money or my BAH as income, hopefully, as well as another side job or two to use as qualifying income to purchase a house. I wanted to purchase a house in College Station at Texas A&M. But I got a rude awakening when I spoke to a lender, and there was no way in heck that I was going to be able to qualify for a house. The main reason is I had no consistent income, and also to all the veterans out there that are trying to use BAH as income from your post 9/11 GI Bill, it is not qualifying income. However, disability, on the other hand, can certainly be used as qualifying income. For instance, I actually helped a couple, both of them were veterans. Neither of them had consistent qualifying income. Neither of them had a consistent job. One of them actually was in school. Both had 100% disability and were able to qualify for a rather large house on disability alone. One of the other benefits of disability, and it will vary state by state, is the amount that you can save on your property taxes. So to use Texas as an example, if you have 100% disability, you do not pay property taxes whatsoever. And in the state of Texas, we do have kind of high property taxes, anywhere from low 2% on your property value all the way up to low 3%. On average, it's going to save you multiple thousands of dollars a year. The last thing that disability can absolutely save you a ton of money on is your funding fee. This is another thing that I wish I had known prior to using my VA loan the first time. By getting disability, any rating whatsoever, at least of 10%, will be able to waive the funding fee. Now, the funding fee I do discuss in a prior video. The funding fee can range tremendously based on the use of your VA loan, whether it's the first time you're using it or the second time or more. Regardless, the funding fee on any purchase is going to be multiple thousands of dollars as well. Now, I do talk about disability in a couple of my videos, and I do want to kind of go into that a little bit more in depth here. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2012, my intent was to go back into either the Marines or the Air Force after going to college as an officer. With this being said, if I were to get out of the military having got disability and then tried to get back in the military, who knows how difficult that could have been. So my intent when I got out was to have as clean of a record as possible. However, it only took me 2 or 3 years after that to realize the military definitely wasn't going to be something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. At that point, I felt kind of guilty applying for disability, having never even deployed before. But after speaking to a ton of my friends that have spent time not just in the Marines, but across all the other branches, they all advised me to try to get as much disability as I could. When I initially applied for disability, it wasn't until 4 years after I had gotten out. So give you an idea, if you guys are familiar with disability, 4 years of 40% is essentially what I missed. That 40% then was able to jump up to 70% about a year and a half later, and that's where I'm currently standing. Obviously, the goal would be to get to 100%. 100% again in the state of Texas can save you a ton of money on taxes. Not sure if I will get there, but I'm pretty happy with 70% where I am now. You may think disability has to be something that's over the top, like you've lost a leg potentially being deployed. And that's kind of my mindset initially when I didn't want to apply for disability. But disability can be a handful of things. For instance, in my situation, I actually got fapped out to a pistol range for a couple years. Initially, it was supposed to be a 6-month FAP, and it turned into almost over 2 years of being on the range. So me personally, I have a little bit of disability for hearing loss. Also, another situation, if you are familiar with MCRD and the Marine Corps boot camp in Camp Pendleton, I graduated boot camp at a mere 117 pounds. In boot camp, I was given the same kind of pack as someone that was 225 pounds, and hiking at a 117 pound individual versus hiking with an individual that's 225 pounds with the same pack on their back. I had consistent back pain throughout the entire time I was in the Marine Corps, as well as essentially back problems probably for the rest of my life. And that's disability that I was able to claim as well. My mentality when it came to disability initially was I just didn't feel like I warranted it. At the end of the day, though, I highly advise that you reach out to an individual that has some experience in claiming disability. If you need any kind of assistance, I'd love to connect you as well. I do have a couple great contacts that can help you get disability, but I promise you, more than likely, if you apply, you will get some kind of disability based on your situation and time you spent in the military. The next thing that I wish I had known about using my VA loan, and this is only going to go out to those individuals that are looking to use it as an investment opportunity, was to fully leverage your VA loan. Every city is going to be a little bit different in terms of how much you can purchase. For instance, locally here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, last year in 2020, the conventional loan limit was $510, $500, I believe, give or take. Now it's gone up close to $40,000 or $50,000 to the mid 500 range. What that means is if you go purchase a multifamily, whether that be a duplex, a triplex, or quad, that's the most that you can spend, or the most that a lender is going to give you. But if you go over that, you're actually going to have to put a significant amount down. So when it comes to entitlement and fully leveraging your VA loan, I highly suggest that you go after a duplex, a triplex, or a quad. That's going to be closest to your entitlement. So here locally, duplexes range anywhere from the $400,000 to $500,000 range. However, you can get a duplex in the $200,000 to $300,000 range. If you went after a duplex that was $200,000 to $300,000, you'd have still a significant amount of entitlement left that you wouldn't be utilizing. Now on the flip side, if you went after a quad locally here is not going to be any cheaper than $400,000, probably ranging into the mid 500s. That would probably be a good route to go if you're trying to fully leverage your VA loan. The next thing that I wish I had known before using my VA loan, and it actually was on the second time I had used my VA loan, was that when you purchase a house or purchase a multifamily once, you then only have a certain amount of entitlement left to be used for the second purchase. Now this I actually knew, but what I didn't know, if you purchase a duplex, a triplex, or quad, it actually conforms to conventional single-family loan limits. So to get a little detailed here, what this means is I purchased a duplex for $285,000. My intent was I was going to have a little bit more entitlement because it was a duplex, and typically conventional and FHA loan limits will increase if you increase in size. For instance, 510 may be a single family, 550 may be a duplex, 600 may be a triplex, and so on and so forth. It's going to increase based on going up in unit size. However, if you use your VA loan more than once, it conforms to a traditional single family loan limit. So what this meant was I actually only had $510,000 of entitlement, meaning that if I purchased a duplex for $285,000 and then I go and purchase a fourplex, which a purchase price of $350,000 to $370,000 was going to actually put me over the $510,000 loan limit that I have. My initial thoughts was I was actually going to be under the loan limit because I purchased a duplex and a quad, and those loan limits are actually greater than a traditional single-family loan limit. However, I learned the hard way and had to actually put $45,000 down onto my quadplex. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. That money obviously can be utilized and pulled out at any given time. However, I'm a true believer that if you're going to occupy a property for as little to no money down as possible. And by doing so, you're going to fully leverage your VA loan. For me, I actually over leveraged the total loan limit, and I unfortunately had to put a significant amount of money down. Now that money could have been used elsewhere as another investment. It could have likely made me more money anywhere else outside of that property. I am collecting an additional $200 or so a month on cash flow, but I'd rather have that money now being put to work elsewhere. So I hope this helped you guys out. My biggest thing and takeaway from this video is make sure to apply for disability. Also make sure that you are aware of your entitlement and to fully leverage your VA loan if the intent is to purchase a multifamily. Now, Disclaimer, if you're just gonna buy a traditional single family, don't go buy the most expensive single family. That's not the intent to fully leverage your VA loan. By fully leveraging your VA loan, I'm implying those people that are trying to take advantage of the VA loan to purchase a multifamily home as an investment opportunity. If you guys have personally learned anything from the VA loan that I have not gone over today, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear your experience utilizing your VA loan. If you have any other questions whatsoever about the VA loan, I have a handful of videos on utilizing your VA loan as well as purchasing a multifamily with your VA loan. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help. I've got a ton more content coming out, so stay tuned.